Welcome into Joe Cannon Stadium. It's a Tuesday night and the MCBL season is about to close. Alongside Brian Deere, Oliver Nisi to bring you Express Baseball on the Rockville Express Baseball Network. The Express come in at 8-5 on the season, where the Monarchs find themselves at 3-7-2. Tonight is the second to last game of the regular season. On Thursday night, the Express will be in another doubleheader. As this game's about to get underway, again, I'd like to welcome in my partner, Brian Deere, into this one, as the Monarchs, their starter, Cam Clark, is on the mound first. Brian, what is the scouting report on Cam Clark, and what is the keys for the Express to win the game tonight?
So from what I've seen in warm-ups, it looks like we're going to be Clark's going to be featuring a high 70s, low 80s fastball. Not going to move a lot unless he picks up a little two-seam on the inside corner to him. He's also going to be featuring a slider that's probably going to be his out pitch. He's got some late movement, as we just saw right there. Also going to feature a changeup that may struggle with some control. I mean, obviously I saw a small sample size in warm-ups, but we'll have to see it for sure, as he just tried to mix some timing to the leadoff batter, Copian. But the keys for Rockville, it's just going to be just hit. I mean, the Monarchs are struggling at the plate. They've only scored 23 runs this season, and that is by far the worst in the league. And so as long as Rockville can get on the board, I think they'll have an easy time winning this one.
The leadoff man, Eddie Hakopian, just got a good piece of that one from Clark, who we saw all the way back in Game 2 on July 9th. He's the first out for the Express. First pitch is in there for a strike on the outside corner to the number 2 hitter, Levon Reynoso. Second pitch from Clark. Looked like a slider that time, as it started in the middle of the plate and broke towards the outside. Reynoso, the number 2 hitter tonight, usually hits cleanup. There's a swing and a miss on another breaking ball. You can imagine that Levon's waiting for the heater at the plate. He's down 1-2. And that got by him, the first strikeout for Cam Clark. The Monarchs are in the white jerseys with the green letters. The Express in their black jerseys and the camo sleeves. Dion Reynoso, the number 3 hitter tonight, at the plate. 2 quick outs for the Express here in the first.
It looks like Clark's going to be pounding the zone quite a bit here, as he's shown has only thrown 1 ball so far, and obviously getting Reynoso out, or I guess one of the Reynoso brothers out, and probably a second here. That's not an easy task. So he just made it look very easy. So Clark with a good first inning.
1-2-3, go the Express. The Monarchs are coming up in the bottom of the first. We find ourselves in another doubleheader. Have had a lot of doubleheaders this season. Doubleheader tonight. First pitch was just before 6 o'clock, as the starter for the Express, Alan Sadhoff, in Game 1. Game 2 tonight is scheduled to start around 8:30, basically whenever this game is over. And Brian, if you wouldn't mind giving us another scouting report on the Express starting pitcher tonight.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to watch a couple warm-up pitches, because I have not been here for one of his starts yet. But I know, judging from his stats, he's sporting a sub-2 ERA, so he's got a little juice to him out there. He's going to be pumping a fastball that he'll run it up there. He'll get it around low to mid 80s. We'll have to see what kind of off speed he's sporting here in his warm-up pitches. But as long as he's going to be in the zone, going to keep it down. Obviously, last time we played the Monarchs only hit was a home run. That was pretty close to the water tower. So obviously, if you just keep it down, the wind, I think, which is kind of blowing out to right field a little bit, it seems like. As long as you can keep it down to the righties, I think you'll have a pretty easy time.
That home run you mentioned came back in Game 2. It was hit by Joe Quelch, who is in the lineup tonight. He's the designated hitter. He's hitting 7th, and while we have some time, we'll fly through the Monarchs lineup. Leading off for them at shortstop is Scott Huntley. Batting second, the right fielder, Cullen McAuliffe. Batting third, the first baseman, Corey Blom. Batting fourth, an extra hitter, Tim Pine. Batting Batting fifth in left field, Matt Isaac. Batting sixth in center is Drew Ehrlich. Batting seventh, the aforementioned Joe Quelch, designated hitter. Batting eighth at second base is Nick Benitez. Batting ninth at third is Luke Tuttle. And batting 10th is the catcher, Jackson Holla. Here is Scott Huntley to start this one. We saw Huntley all the way back in game 2. 1 for 3 in that game with a walk and a single. Huntley batting from the left side, first pitch from Sadhoff. A heater that just missed on the outside corner.
So judging from his warm-up pitches, Sadhoff's going to be sporting a fastball, curveball, slider, more of a slurvish pitch, and a changeup. So he's going to be rocking about a 3.5 pitch mix, if you will, because that slider and curveball looked similar to each other, but I'm not sure if he calls them both differently, or if he calls them both a slider or a curveball.
Third pitch from Sadhoff, a fastball is outside. The hitter Huntley ahead 2-1. The leadoff man for the Monarchs in game 1 of the doubleheader, Oliver Nisi and Brian Deere alongside. And there is a hit that ricocheted off Akopian's mitt at second base. So Huntley got a piece of it, put it in play, and he's on board. See if they score that as an error, as the ball was hit in the air.
Looks like they scored it as a hit up there. So first hit of the ball game for either team.
It's going to be a single for Huntley to lead things off as he's putting his face covering on at first base. Here is McAuliffe, who's starting in right field tonight, hitting from the right side against Sadhoff. Tough break for the starter for the Express off of that play. We'll see if he can get back into this at bat here. First pitch, a fastball is in there, a high strike. Runner on first, nobody down. We're here at Joe Cannon Stadium as Sadhoff checks the runner over at first. Lacefield is starting at first base for the Express tonight.
Both pitchers can run it up there in velocity, as we're seeing a lot of fastballs from both of them.
And that ball is hit to right field. Levon Reynoso got over his head. He was coming in at first. That ball went all the way to the fence. Huntley's at third. He'll hold up there as the head coach for the Monarchs, Steve Doherty, doing the third base coaching honors. A double is registered by Cullen McAuliffe. Back-to-back hits to lead off this game. The Monarchs have runners at second and third base with nobody gone for their number 3 hitter, Corey Blom.
It's a tough break right there. It's a tough play. The wind's blowing out towards right field, so Reynoso having a tough time out there, maybe judging as to where the ball is going to land, but tough play out there nonetheless.
Sadhoff's first pitch to the number 3 hitter is in there for a strike on a fastball. Had some scattered thunderstorms in some of the areas here in Central Maryland. Looks like we'll be okay tonight as the second pitch is off the plate. Another fastball from the starter.
Feels like for once in a game this season we've got a breeze going. Feels like we've had a lot of humid games recently.
A swinging strike as Sadhoff is ahead 1-2. It has been one of the hotter summers I can remember. Sadhoff ahead. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's on the ground, and that's going to hit. Ketterman gets a piece of it, but no play at any base. It's an RBI single for Corey Blom, and the Monarchs are ahead 1-0.
See, I want to give a lot of credit to Ketterman right there, because with a runner on third, another runner on second, your object is just to get an out. But if you can't get an out and it's a play, it's a ball on the ground, you want to at least knock it down so that runner on second can't come around to score. Great job there laying out, keeping the ball in front of you, and not letting it get to the outfield, because that's a 2-run single if he does.
Ketterman is at shortstop tonight. He's been the starter there all season. He's not just there for his bat, as Brian alluded to. He's got a great glove. Foul tip to start off Tim Pine, the extra hitter. And Brian, I've seen a lot of these big, burly, left-handed cleanup hitters this season across the MCBL, and the only MLB player I can compare it to is Adam Dunn.
Yeah, you have a few more, like maybe Jim Thome.
That's a good one.
You could. He's not as big as Adam Dunn, but Adam Dunn was a tank. He was about 6'6", probably every bit of 260. He was a tank of a dude. The one he literally just sits in that DH role now as the universal DH. Now got put in play.
Sadhoff looking back at first. It seems like Matt Adams has just jumped around from team to team. He was on that Cardinals team back when they were, they won the World Series in 2011. I can't remember if he was on that team, but
he was. So the year David Freese hit the walk-off to send it to, I believe, Game 7.
Yep.
He hit the game-tying home run, I believe, in the 6th inning of that one. And so Matt Adams was a big part of that Cardinals team in 2011.
Sadhoff behind 2-1 to the cleanup hitter Pine. As Pine checks his swing, doesn't go around. It's 3-1. Monarchs currently their 4th player at the plate in the 1st inning, a 1-0 game. Have 3 hits from their first 3 hitters. Pitch from Sadhoff. The high fastball. Tim Pine takes his base. The bases are juiced for the number 5 hitter, Matt Isaac.
Go down, settle his pitcher down. It's been a tough 4 batters already. He's up to 16 pitches, and it's been kind of a grueling 1st inning for him, not getting out so far. 3 hits and a walk. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to go out and settle him down a little bit, but it looks like he's going to stay put.
Bases loaded for the starter as he gets his sign and comes home from the windup now. A breaking ball, moved from left to right, off the plate. 1-0 on Matt Isaac. Bases loaded, 1-0. The score at Joe Cannon. There's a fastball that finds the strike zone. It's 1-1.
That was a much-needed strike from him as he got a couple close calls that didn't go in his favor in the last at-bat, and this one, that's a much-needed strike call to get the confidence boost.
3rd pitch of the at-bat coming. Here it is. And Adams almost went around trying to check his swing, but it doesn't matter as that fastball lands in the strike zone. Sadhoff has a 1-2 count to the hitter, looking for his first out of the inning. Just a little high. The ball had a little break to it. Count is even.
I'd say if you're in the infield right now, you got to think, look double play. So if it's a hard hit ball, you go home. And then you got Reynoso behind the plate with a strong arm. He can get it over to first. But if it's up the middle, I'd probably go second and just trade 2 outs for a run right here.
A 2-2 pitch is a little high. Count out full at 3-2. The first baseman, Lacefield and Hadaway at the corners of the infield, they're both in, but Ketterman and Hakopian at short and second are a little far off their defensive alignments as Sadhoff steps off. Here's the payoff pitch to Matt Isaac. Inside, it's going to be ball 4 as Isaac takes first base. Will take an RBI with that. Monarchs score their 2nd run. It's 2-0 early. Here is Drew Ehrlich, center fielder, batting 6th in the lineup. Hits from the right side, pitch from the righty. Fastball on the inside half of the strike zone. 0-1 on the hitter. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 1st in game 1 of the doubleheader tonight. That ball is hit to center. Netterville is out there. He's under it. But that's going to be good enough for a sacrifice fly as the runner from third tags goes home. The runner from second tags and goes to third. So Sadhoff records his first out, but on the same play allows his third run.
Great job as a hitter right there. You want to get something elevated. You want to get it into the outfield, get your runner home, and also great job as a pitcher, get an out. That's exactly what you need. You've had a stressful first inning so far. 5 batters, no outs, and then you finally get that 6th batter for an out, and that's all you need. Just get the confidence back up and get yourself out of the inning. You're 1 pitch away now.
First pitch to Joe Quelch is in there for a strike on the outside edge. Runners at the corners for the Monarchs, 1 away. They have a 3-0 lead as Sadhoff goes back to first, checking on Isaac over there. Jesse Lacefield, as I mentioned, he gets the start at first base tonight. It's his 3rd start of the season. The regulars, Hadaway, Ketterman, and Hakopian get the start in the infield. Nice job from Sadhoff to fire in a fastball in the outside corner. He's been pinpointing that outside corner for Quelch at the plate in this at-bat. He's ahead 0-2 with 1 out in the inning. As he looks back at first, Lacefield is off the bag. There's a fastball high.
So that could be a good setup pitch for him, as you can now bring a breaking ball that's going to sweep away from Quelch, who's a pretty good hitter, a strong hitter who can put it out. But you just got to make sure you don't give him anything down the middle, and you don't let anything that he can turn on and get any power behind it.
And that one is fouled back. People got to look out. The fans who are sitting behind us, we're behind home plate, just a little up from the backstop, as we have some fans behind us in all directions. That ball made it past the screening and landed up here. 2 strikes remain on Joe Quelch, the number 7 hitter, the pitch. And that ball gets by Dion Reynoso. Isaac's coming home. He's safe. That was actually Tim Pine. He came home on the pass ball. Looked like Sadhoff may have been a little late getting to the home plate. Tough break for the starter, Sadhoff, as it's now 4-0. And on that pitch, it looked like it was very close to being a strike. They call it a ball on Quelch, so he's still at the dish. 2-2 count with 1 out. Isaac went from first to second on the pass ball. There's a 3rd ball at the at-bat to Quelch. A breaking ball that landed a little high. Move from left to right. Full count to the hitter. Payoff pitch is swung on for a miss, a strikeout. Quelch goes down. Nice 2-seam fastball that was up and in on the hitter. First strikeout of the night for Sadhoff. 2 down.
That was a big strikeout there for him, as the fastball ruined the double play chance for a ground ball. And right there, you got 2 strikes on the batter. You got to go after him, try to get the punch out, and now all you need is a out right here. But
that's going to be a single. It's going to drop down. Netterville's coming home with it. It's not going to be in time. That throw did not have the power to get to the home plate. An RBI single off the bat of Nick Benitez. Tough inning for the Express here in the first. Runner on first for the Monarchs. They lead 5-0. As the number 9 hitter, Luke Tuttle, who's at third tonight, is at the dish. First pitch. Lands in the strike zone. Oliver Nisi and Brian Deere coming to you live, Joe Cannon Stadium in Hanover, Maryland. Second pitch, a fastball too high. We've seen Sadhoff's velocity, but unfortunately it hasn't been good enough to trick the Maryland Monarchs hitters in this first inning.
So what we've seen is the balls are a little bit elevated for him. Like I had mentioned before the inning, you just got to keep it down, especially in a park that doesn't necessarily play small. And so you want to keep the ball down. We saw it on the ball over Reynoso's head and right. We saw it on the ball out into left center. And quite frankly, those are the balls that are going to kill you, are the ones that are going to be above the belt that guys can get their hands around on and drive it.
There's strike three swinging, but that one got to the backstop. The throw to first is dropped by Lacefield over there. As good heads-up base running, Benitez on the pass ball went all the way to third. As the umpire is going to come and talk this one out.
So it looks like the home plate umpire was saying it was a foul ball.
So we'll get the call for you in a second. Two umpires in this game. They call it a foul ball. As on the play, Luke Tuttle, who was at the plate, looked like he struck out as the ball went to the backstop, but instead it tipped his bat. He's back at the plate. 2 strikes remain on him. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Benitez is back at first. Sadhoff from the stretch. That one's on the ground to Ketterman at short. He flips the second for the final out of the inning. So a tough first inning for the Express. They find themselves down 5-0. They're coming up in the top of the second. Live MCL baseball being brought to you at Joe Cannon Stadium. Oliver Nisi alongside Brian Deere on the broadcast. We'll be right back.